The Christmas Pig, written by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Jim Field. Chapter 29, Poem and the Pretense. Without pausing to consider whether it was sensible to obey the voice or not, Jack and the Christmas Pig hurtled through the open door which closed behind them. From that dreadful grater, finished Poem, the hall of the house was dimly lit. Poem's scribbled lines were barely visible. "You aren't going to give us to the loser, aren't you?" Jack whispered. "What kind of traitor do you take me for?" "You needed help, so I opened my door." "Sorry," said Jack. "I didn't mean—" "We're very thankful," the Christmas Pig assured the Poem. Poem smiled. "No harm done, dears. Suspicions, common sense." Now coming to the parlor, they followed the Poem into a small sitting room. Meet Pretense. Dropped in a seat beside the fire was the strangest thing Jack had yet seen in the land of the lost. In fact, he couldn't make out whether it was a thing, a person, or a ghost. It had the shape and look of a teenage boy, though shrunk to the size of Jack and the Christmas Pig, and you could see right through him. Gold medals hung around his neck, and he had a lipstick's kiss on his cheek. He was dressed like a rock star, with a black leather jacket and pointed boots. When he saw Jack, the Christmas Pig, this strange thing jumped up and said, "Hi, my friends at my old school called me Lipple. I've got a girlfriend who lives in another town. She's really pretty. She kisses a lot. There are the medals I've won for karate. I could kill you right now with my bear." "Now not the time, Pretense. Please save your lives," said Poem sternly. "These things are running from the loser's spies." Pretense scowled. "You can talk about lying. You're completely made up. Great poems tell the truth. Your fibs aren't art," said Poem in a dignified voice. Turning to Jack and the Christmas Pig, she added, "He can't help lying, but he is good at heart." Pretense glowered and kicked the edge of the rug. "I could kill someone with my bare hands if I wanted," he mumbled sulkily. "I could." "Please sit down by the fire, get warm and dry," Poem told Jack and the Christmas Pig, ignoring her housemate. "And then we'd like to help Pretense and I." "This is very kind of you," said the Christmas Pig. "Yes, it is," said Jack. "Thank you." He took the armchair nearest the fire and stretched out his freezing hands and feet to the flames. Being made of paper, Poem was staying well away from the fire, and Pretense slumped back down in his chair and said, "Poem told me she'd met you two on one of Eddie's walking tours. I hate the address book. She's an even bigger liar than I am." "Pretense, you never spoke of truer word," said Poem approvingly. "To hear her talk, you'd think she's only heard of disposable and bother it's gone. Embarrassing the way she carries on." "So there is another town apart from disposable and bother is gone?" asked Jack. "Of course, the one beyond the golden door, which Addie knows. Of that you can be sure. But Addie likes to think herself a queen, the most important things there's ever been. And so she tells herself it can't exist, that wondrous place, the city of the mist." Jack and the Christmas Pig exchanged excited looks. "The city of the mist, did you say?" asked the Christmas pig. That's right. We know it well, Pretense and I. For once it was our home. I'm going to cry. Sure enough, a single tear leaked out of Pom's eyes and made an inky tickle down her page. Why aren't you still there? Asked Jack. Pom moved a little closer to the fire and smoothed herself out to show them the many crossing out and corrections all over her body. As you can see, I'm just an early draft, imperfect trier of my poet's craft. And when she lost me, oh, her grief and rage, I need it back, she stormed. The precious page. She swore my loss meant she could write no more. And so they sent me through the golden door and put me on a train of royal blue and treated me with kindness, for they knew how deeply I was missed. But soon that changed. My poet tried again. She rearranged my words, my rhymes, my meter. Finally, she knew she'd made a better poem than me. The lost adjusters came and brought me here, where I'll remain forever, for I fear I've now become a curiosity. No longer does my poet cry for me. As Pom wiped her inky eyes, Pretense sighed and said, Pom and I have been friends since we met in the city of the mist. My owner was a teenager. He had to move to a new school, miles away from all his old friends. He felt lonely and frightened of that bulky Kyle Mason, so he made me. He pretended he could do karate and had a girlfriend and a cool nickname back in his old school, but the other teenagers soon saw through me. He didn't want to lose me. He was forced to. Losing me made him feel lost at first. He missed me dreadfully, so I was sent through the golden door and mislaid, just like Pom. But as time went on, my owner began to miss me less. He slowly realized it was better to tell the truth and have people like him for who he really was. That's when I was adjusted and sent to Bother Is Gone. One day, I dare say he will be ashamed he ever had me at all, and when that day comes, I'll be shoved out onto the What was that? Said the Christmas pig, and Pretense fell silent. From a few chalets away came from shouts and bangs. Uh-oh, said Pretense. They're searching the street.